Hello everybody, Andrew Casey at Hypersanity Books. Today I'll be talking about an identity crisis. This is a follow-up from the other video with Heath Ledger's Joker and Hypersanity. Now we're talking about, from that video, he was targeting different characters, and more specifically in this video, there are other characters that go through an identity crisis, but more importantly, it's the Harvey Dent character that has the biggest identity crisis of all. Otherwise, let's get into it. Number 10. District Attorney.
Permission to treat the witness as hostile.
Granted. Hostile? I see you hostile!
28 caliber, made in China. If you want to kill a public servant, Mr. Maroney, I recommend you buy American.
When there's certain false testimony and it's made a mockery of the court and justice system, the other part that was failing was the laws and acts in place to be able to prosecute or be able to deny bail to be granted to people found guilty in conspiracying within the mob. So there is a certain part where the character has his own identity as Harvey Dent.
Get him out of here.
But Your Honor, I'm not done.
Number 9. Alfred.
And in their desperation, they turned to a man they didn't fully understand. With respect, Master Wayne, perhaps this is a man you don't fully understand either.
Alfred faces two identity crises in the film. The first is after the death of Rachel, he has the letter for Bruce for the truth to how Rachel felt. And he's felt pushed with that point, whether he should do the right thing to tell the truth and show him the letter or to burn it. That's also a subplot for the next film. The other part that gives Alfred the identity crisis is the story about the bandit.
That bandit in the forest in Burma. Did you catch him? How?
We burned the forest down.
So within his way of dealing with things, back then he's faced with an identity crisis to be just as bad as the villain for burning the forest to get the villain. So there is that type of crisis or crises that the characters are in because of the difficult situation of what the Joker's doing. Number 8. Taking the law into your own hands.
Heads, you gotta keep your head. Tails, not so lucky.
So Harvey Dent, in this scene, he's taken the law into his own hands to interrogate. There is a certain part where he's trying to gather information. It's just the way that he's going about it and the mental health issues of the other person being manipulated and pushed. That's one thing with the mental health issues. The Joker is drawn to mental health. And that's the same thing with the identity crisis that Harvey Dent has in Batman the Killing Joke. You see in the graphic novel, one side of his face is still sane and the other insane part has been manipulated by the Joker.
His name's Schiff Thomas. He's a paranoid schizophrenic. Former patient at Arkham, the kind of mind the Joker attracts. What do you expect to learn from him?
Will the real Batman please stand up? That was quite dark in the film, where the Brian character was dressed up as Batman and killed for doing the copycat vigilante work.
I am the Batman.
Harvey Dent, I believe his character did it as a way of being captured by the police, following protocol to be arrested and have himself put away in hope to draw out the Joker so the real Batman can do what he needs to do to arrest the Joker. And that's one of the other things, it's trying to create that bait. With different unforeseen circumstances, there are theories to say that the Joker is well organised and well planned with his schemes, but there are other circumstances that also show that he didn't predict every single thing that's going to happen. So did certain circumstance change? That is another factor to consider when you're writing your stories. Number 6. Joker's interrogation.
Harvey Dent never made it home.
Of course not.
What have you done with him?
Me?
One thing I do want to make clear, Batman feels that he has the upper hand for the interrogation scene, but it is the Joker that has the upper hand all along. And there are different facts that I can't touch on. It would need a whole video for itself. But for some basic points, when Batman hits the Joker, one thing the Joker said that I found was interesting,
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. He can't feel the next. See?
That is so true. So with certain characterization to the way he works on his mental health, he could take a lot of physical punishment. I would also say with the Joker character, one thing I should have touched on is there is a theory that he is a soldier that was undercover, and because of different injustices, he's turned to the way that he has. And I would say within his military background, he did a lot of interrogations, and he has tortured a lot of people. That's one other thing made quite clear. He absolutely knows how to torture people.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. They need you right now. But when they don't, they'll cast you out.
One fact that gives him more of an upper hand, Batman needs information out of the Joker to find out where Harvey Dent and where Rachel is. And with that circumstance, they've got to get the information out of him. But the Joker has nothing to lose, or so it seems. And that gives him the advantage. So there are different interrogation scenes that we see in films, and one of the most common one is targeting family members. So with the Joker, because he's not showing to have family or friends or anything else, it's hard to know what is his motivation. It's hard to have any sort of bargaining power over the character because no one's sure of what he wants. So in the interrogation, the Joker is in control. The other thing that he points out is forcing Batman to hit him and laughing, "You have nothing to threaten me with." So they were tiles that were broken. That's also an interesting subplot to give him something to use as a weapon when he's also getting under another person's skin. It's another interrogation point.
I'm a 20-year man, and I know the difference between punks who need a little lesson in manners and the freaks like you who would just enjoy it.
Do you want to know why I use a knife?
So that character as well has gone under an identity crisis to think that he's got the power over Joker, but with a lot of the Joker's skills, he has the upper hand to put this person in a vulnerable position where he could take his life. So there are lots of subplots that work so well within the film, and the interrogation scene has a lot of things that just can't be touched on. But there are certain key factors that I think are interesting.
I'm gonna have to try and enjoy it even more.
What do you want? I just want my phone call.
Number 5, love triangle.
I don't want to live without you, and I do have an answer for you. And my answer is yes.
He loves her so much, he would rather die and let her live than for it to be the other way around. Now, within certain policies, for him being a public servant, the protocols will all say that he has to be rescued first, before her.
Rachel!
Harvey. Okay.
Rachel!
And this pushes the Harvey Dent character into an identity crisis when he gets taken away, because he knows the person he loves is going to die. Bruce Wayne goes through that identity crisis as well, because the person that he loved, his childhood friend, he should have had a relationship with her, but he couldn't because of a lot of the risks that he was taking being Batman to have some sort of normal life. Number 4, body horror.
Why? But that means it's on you. They're all going to come after you now, and not just the mob. Politicians, journalists, cops. Anyone whose wallet's about to get lighter.
Hi.
There is a medical term I will try to find out. I've tried to Google, I've gone through textbooks. I can't remember what it is, but there is a specific terminology. Normally this applies to films that we should not talk about, like Human Centipede, Tusk. Now, moving on, with this unforeseen circumstance, Harvey Dent is in a situation where things are playing in his mind. Now, with the patch on his face, that would be better and safer for him to have that left on because of the damages and infections that can come into his eye. You can't keep your eyes open constantly and pulled apart for so long.
The mob has plans. The cops have plans. Gordon's got plans. You know, they're schemers.
Harvey Dent is now caught in a situation with the Joker, talking about how everyone else is schemers, and the Joker is absolutely right with what he's talking about. And we're not trying to encourage certain things, but there are a lot of manipulative people out there, and Harvey Dent would know a lot more people compared to what the Joker knows, and that's another point. The Joker targeted specific characters in the film, but there are other characters he did not target because he didn't know those characters. Number 3, personality created from the wreckage of your own mind.
I thought you was dead.
Half. You love her?
Yes.
You ever imagine what it would be like to listen to her die?
Harvey Dent is no more. He now sees himself as Harvey Two-Face. Harvey Dent is now specifically targeting public servants that he knows that the Joker may not know, that are corrupt. And he knows different ways on how things are operating. The Joker knew certain ways on how to push Harvey Dent, as we talked about with the Hypersanity, and we've talked about psychology in the other video with Scarecrow. The Joker understands psychology far more than what Scarecrow does. Harvey Dent is now pushing with this new personality to show that he's not afraid of the mob. He's not afraid of taking the law into his own hands. He's no longer afraid to call out on different public servants for what they have done wrong, knowing that they are corrupt and worked in with the mob.
And put the kids in the car right away. But the unit's outside.
Those cops can't be trusted.
She believe you. It's because she trusts you. Just like Rachel did.
I didn't
You
know
didn't know what they were gonna do.
Number 2, the citizens of Gotham.
Give it to me, and I'll do what you should have did 10 minutes ago.
All of us, at some point in life, we will all get tested with an identity crisis to who we think we are, who we should be. There are certain goals that we have, and then an injury happens. There are other circumstances that are out of control where we get faced with an identity crisis to who we should be. And people have multiple identity crises in life. With the situation of the 2 boats, you have other people that are on the boat with the criminals, and they're left with a choice to try to save their lives with the other criminals. Now, for that one person, he takes the control, throws it out. He's not playing into the game anymore. He has also taken control of the situation. He is also faced with an identity crisis in this moment. Number 1, multiple climax.
Until they get a good look at the real Harvey Dent. You didn't think I'd risk losing the battle for Gotham's soul in a fistfight with you. You need an ace in the hole. Mine's Harvey.
With the monologuing as the story's going down, it's creating a new narrative that sounds more like a sequel, though it's actually leading to another climactic point.
You thought we could be decent men in an indecent time. The Joker chose me
Because you were the best of us. He wanted to prove that even someone as good as you could fall.
You have the rising action of the actions of Harvey Dent in this new climactic rising action. The climactic point is the intervention where the coin falls and shows the good side of the coin and leads to Harvey Dent's death. With the descending action or the resolution, one thing that's made clear, Batman needs to stop doing what he's doing and encouraging certain behaviours of other people and create a new world order within Gotham. From the passing of the Harvey Dent Act, to have it made seemingly that Harvey Dent was a good person all along. Now remember, Harvey Dent has also faced more trials and tribulations with an identity crisis than any character in the story.